President Donald Trump's threat to purchase Greenland as a direct response to increasing geopolitical competition in the Arctic, particularly from China. Trump's interest in Greenland wasn't just about the island's size or resources. It was about the strategic location Greenland holds in the Arctic, which is becoming an increasingly important geopolitical theater. As the Arctic ice melts and new shipping routes open, countries with a presence in the region stand to gain economically, militarily, and politically. Greenland's position, sitting between North America and Europe, makes it a crucial location for global shipping and military operations. Trump suggested that the U.S. might explore the possibility of purchasing Greenland, a proposal that was immediately rejected by both Denmark and Greenland's local government. Despite this, Trump's comments underscored the United States' long-standing interest in Greenland's security and resource potential. For the U.S., Greenland is more than just a landmass. It is seen as a gateway to the Arctic, with its location offering unparalleled access to vital sea routes, military positioning, and natural resources. With the Arctic region rapidly becoming a focal point for global competition, the U.S. could not afford to lose influence over Greenland, especially as other nations, particularly China, began increasing their involvement. The U.S. sees Greenland as an essential location in its defense architecture, particularly in relation to Russia's growing presence in the Arctic and China's expansionist ambitions. Historically, the U.S. has maintained military bases in Greenland, including the Thule Air Base, which plays a crucial role in monitoring missile defense and strategic operations. For the U.S., the notion of China gaining a stronger foothold in Greenland's resources, infrastructure, and overall strategic importance is unacceptable, thus explaining Trump's open rhetoric about securing Greenland for American interests. China's early investments in Greenland. While the United States has been concerned about its strategic interests in Greenland, China has taken a more direct route through investment. Beginning in the early 2000s, Chinese companies began eyeing Greenland's rich natural resources. Greenland, with its vast deposits of rare earth minerals, uranium, iron ore, and other critical materials, has become a focal point for China's resource-driven global strategy. These resources are crucial to China's ambitions in both economic growth and technological development, particularly in the fields of electronics, renewable energy, and military technology. In 2015, China made its first major investment in Greenland through the Iswa Iron Ore Project, a massive mining venture located in southwestern Greenland. The Hong Kong-based General Nice Development Group, a subsidiary of the General Nice Group, acquired the project. The Iron Ore Project marked China's first substantial venture into Greenland, and while the project has faced delays due to logistical and environmental challenges, it set the stage for future investments. In 2016, Chinese investment in Greenland deepened with the Kvanefjeld Rare Earth and Uranium Project. Shanghai Resources, a Chinese mining giant, acquired a 12.5% stake in Greenland Minerals, which controls the Kvanefjeld project. This project is one of the largest deposits of rare earth elements and uranium in the world. The importance of rare earth elements for China cannot be overstated. They are vital for the production of everything from electronics to wind turbines and military-grade technologies. China's acquisition of this stake in Kvanefjeld solidified its economic presence in Greenland and demonstrated its strategic interest in securing control over critical resources in the Arctic. Beyond mining, China has also shown interest in infrastructure projects in Greenland. These include port development and other logistical ventures aimed at supporting the extraction and transportation of resources from Greenland to global markets. With this infrastructure in place, China is not only investing in Greenland's resource extraction, but is also laying the groundwork to control the flow of resources and access to the Arctic's emerging trade routes. The influence of China in Greenland. China's economic investments have resulted in increasing political influence over Greenland, albeit through careful diplomacy and economic leverage. While the Greenlandic government has been cautious about Chinese investments due to environmental and sovereignty concerns, the growing dependence on foreign investment in the country has made it difficult to resist. China's investments have provided capital for infrastructure projects and mining ventures, which are critical for Greenland's economic development. The potential for jobs, growth, and increased revenue is enticing for Greenland, making it challenging for local politicians to completely shut out foreign capital, especially when it comes from a country as powerful as China. China's growing influence in Greenland is part of a broader effort to expand its presence in the Arctic region. As the Arctic becomes more accessible due to climate change, new shipping routes are opening up that will drastically reduce shipping times between Asia, Europe, and North America. Greenland's strategic position makes it a prime location for these new shipping lanes, which China views as essential for its future economic development. Through its investments in Greenland's infrastructure, China is laying the groundwork to control or at least influence the Arctic's emerging trade routes. These routes could be crucial to China's Belt and Road Initiative, a global strategy aimed at expanding China's trade and influence through infrastructure projects and economic partnerships. China's influence in Greenland also extends to the military and strategic realms. While there are no formal military bases in Greenland controlled by China, the strategic importance of the region cannot be overstated. As the Arctic becomes more militarized, the U.S. is likely to view any Chinese influence in Greenland as a challenge to its security interests in the region. China's ability to secure access to key Arctic resources and shipping routes gives it significant leverage in global geopolitics. Greenland's strategic location and its importance to China. Greenland's geographical location gives it enormous strategic value. It is positioned between the North American continent and Europe, making it a key player in the future of Arctic shipping routes. These new routes are opening up as the ice melts, and countries with Arctic claims will control access to these paths. For China, securing a stake in Greenland is not just about resources. It's about access to the region's future trade routes and the ability to shape the economic and geopolitical dynamics of the Arctic. In addition to shipping, Greenland's resources are vital for China's economic ambitions. Rare earth elements are critical for China's manufacturing sector, especially for electronics, wind turbines, and military technology. With vast deposits of uranium, iron ore, and other minerals, Greenland presents China with an opportunity to ensure a steady supply of these valuable resources as the global demand for them increases. As China invests in Greenland's mining projects and infrastructure, it is simultaneously increasing its geopolitical leverage in the Arctic. This strategy is part of China's broader effort to assert itself as a dominant global power. The Arctic is becoming a region of growing international interest, with China positioning itself as a key player through its investments in Greenland. As other global powers, particularly the US and Russia, scramble to secure their own strategic positions in the Arctic, China's growing influence in Greenland is likely to lead to continued tensions. The US response and competition in the Arctic. The United States, recognizing Greenland's strategic importance, has been concerned about China's increasing influence in the region. Trump's earlier threat to purchase Greenland was, in part, a response to the growing economic and geopolitical presence of China in the Arctic. The U.S. sees Greenland as a critical ally in its military defense and economic positioning in the Arctic. Greenland's proximity to the U.S. military base at Thule Air Base makes it a crucial location for monitoring Russian and Chinese military activity in the region. The U.S. has expressed concerns that Chinese investments in Greenland could lead to a stronger Chinese military or strategic presence in the Arctic. This concern was echoed during Trump's tenure, as the administration worked to counter China's growing reach by strengthening U.S. relationships with Greenland and Denmark. However, the failure of Trump's proposal to purchase Greenland demonstrated the limits of U.S. power in the region, especially as China continues to assert its economic influence. Conclusion: China's growing investments in Greenland reflect its broader strategy of securing critical resources, asserting control over emerging trade routes, and expanding its geopolitical footprint in the Arctic. These investments have positioned China as a dominant force in Greenland, with far-reaching implications for global power dynamics in the Arctic. At the same time, the U.S. has recognized the strategic importance of Greenland and has responded to China's rising influence with increased military and diplomatic engagement. As global competition in the Arctic intensifies, Greenland will remain a key battleground for global powers. Whether through economic influence, military positioning, or control over vital resources, China's growing presence in Greenland is set to shape the future of the Arctic and global geopolitics.